Hi, I'm back. Welcome. I am shoehorning this video into the day, which is why I'm getting quite excited. I'm already out of breath just from setting up and stuff. I'm shoehorning this video in very short on time, and I've just heard about One Book July, and I had some stuff I wanted to share and explain and tell you about. So I'm going to crack on because I really haven't got much time, and my camera lies because it tells me it's got a full battery and I've got a feeling it really hasn't. So, without trying to get too excited and out of breath, One Book July. I heard about One Book July 2 days ago on the 1st, because now the 3rd, from Anna on her channel, and I watch YouTube quite a lot, but I'm really trying to catch up on one particular channel, so I haven't watched much planner stuff, haven't really seen what's going on, haven't really been on Instagram, and I'll explain a little bit about that in a minute. So, not totally up to speed, but I heard about this One Book July and I thought, oh, I like to hear about these challenges, so I watched it, and in Anna's video she said, stop right now if you've never heard about it and go and see Remy's video, so I watched that, went back and watched Anna's, and I was like, this is really good, let me tell you why. I have only been using one planner for everything since January, probably before January actually, and one pen. So I feel like a bit of a fraud because I've walked into this challenge already doing it. However, like most people, I do have more than one book for more than one purpose, which as far as I'm aware, is allowed. So a couple of months ago I started this one, which is a pocket Saffiano, one of the ones I got of a steal ages ago. Anyway, and I'm using this just to track some of my son's stuff because he's been having some problems at school, and I didn't have a space in here to kind of incorporate him, and a lot of his, I say issues, are quite complex, so I needed quite a chunk of stuff. Like I've had to journal about his day, and so what I did, let me just find some blank things. Oh, what have we got here? I just did a day per page on those so that I could write, and then if I needed to I could add pages in. So that is a separate thing, and that was always going to be a separate thing, but just because it doesn't fit in here and it's child size, so that's separate. That's just not in anything. I've always had my work separate. That's just how that is. Work is separate, and I know that's the same for most people's notes, business cards, all kinds of oojamy flips in there. That's separate. This is my very first final facts I got with the scratch down the side. It's a Metropole in pink, and I love it, but it's got 2 pen holes. Well, now I only use 1 pen. Don't need 2 pen holes. So that's work. That's always separate. Then, from all of my other Final Facts videos, you know about my Purple Malden, and I've always used this. However, because I was getting on so well with everything in one book, I found that I was referring to this less and less, and because I hadn't because I didn't have a diary in this, I was, at the time, I was using a pocket for my pocket challenge, and I'm saying a lot. My pocket ended up being a satellite to this, so this would always stay at home, it wouldn't go anywhere with me, and then I was taking my pocket, and then I moved into this, from off the back of the pocket, and I was using this as a satellite to this. Can you see what I'm doing? And I found gradually some things kind of came automatic, so I didn't need to refer to them as much, because I don't know if you've ever seen any of my other videos. If you haven't, check it out. There's a lot of tabs, as I like to divide everything up. So a lot of stuff became autopilot, so I wasn't needing to refer to this, and consequently a lot of the stuff that I perhaps could have done with referring to more frequently wasn't being reviewed. So I have this on my desk, and I thought it's gorgeous, it's absolutely lovely. I want to get back into this one. And how that came about is because I've been using my phone. So I have this is my work, and this is my life, and I had those all in a Google Calendar on my phone, which was great because if you're familiar with Google, you know that you get a separate calendar with your email address, but I could view both calendars on one calendar. Can't promise that I'm explaining myself properly. So it was great. So I had one which was pink for work and purple for me on my calendar, colour coded. It was great, and then I could add stuff in as well. If my husband said, oh, he's running a race for whatever, I could put that in here. And if it was somewhere I needed to go, then it would go in here. But if it was just him going somewhere, then it would go in here. So yeah. So that's the digital bit done. So when I wanted to get back into this, I was like, okay, so I've got a lot of tabs going on, a lot of stuff going on, and I'd been planning since the beginning of the year in my goals that I wanted to review quarterly, and then my quarterly review I didn't do, even for myself, let alone videoing it. I haven't reviewed any of my personal stuff. And then I thought, oh, I'll do like a 4-month one, so I get 3 reviews a year. That April came and went, so that didn't happen. And I thought, right, I really need to do a 6-month review. If I can't review my year at all as I'm going, I'm going to get to the end of the year and probably be no further forward with anything. So I thought I need to strip this back, and I need to get it functional again, and I wanted to work it out and try and use this more. And I thought, particularly if I'm using my digital calendar, it meant that in reality I probably wouldn't need to be using this as much, and it would free up a little bit of space in my handbag, and this would just permanently live at home. So this would be my satellite, so I'd have this at home and this is my satellite, which is sounding like a good idea, so that's what I'm aiming for. So stripping back to basics, which is the whole premise of the One Book July challenge. I was like, yeah, of course. And the other day, and I just tried to find it before I started, on Instagram, someone posted a written thing about, it wasn't actually particularly about anything, but it was about people buying hordes of stuff from Target in the States, so that when people go in, there's nothing for anybody else, and I just thought, that's not what the planning community is about. For me, that's not what I get from being a part of it. Which is another reason why I haven't done many fun facts videos this year, because I can't afford to buy all of this amazing beautifulness, which I love. And to be fair, I don't think I have in this one at the moment, so I take out months as they're gone. So I've got May, but when you're on a week to page, that's not many pages, because it's a compact. Sorry, did I say that's a compact? So I just write in one pen. It's a friction pen, and to the point where I've lost the lid in my bag. It's probably in my bag. I've lost the lid. I love it so much. The lid was cracked anyway, which is probably why it fell off. And so there was no, in terms of sharing planner stuff on my Instagram and talking about it on YouTube, my process was so simple, and I would literally scrawl stuff in weeks and weeks ahead in the same pen, that when it came to looking pretty, if I wanted to pretty it up, I had to, and I would normally do it on a week that's got hardly anything in, just because there was space to pretty. If I wanted to pretty this week, for example, which is 2 weeks from now, I would have to get my friction pen, rub everything out, loosely remembering what was written in there, because it more often than not wouldn't be written anywhere else unless I'd already put it in here, and pretty it up and then write everything in. And my handwriting's not brilliant, and I think also if if I had beautiful handwriting, and I did write like this is this week, it would look really pretty because it would look really clean, it would look really simple, but I write like a spider, so I don't bother sharing. I'd like to, but maybe that's how I can join in, improve my handwriting and feel like I can share it more worthily. So yeah, so One Book July, basically this week, and I started this a few days because I wanted July to be in here. So before I even found out about One Book July on the 1st, I'd already started this process in my head of my 6-month review and my stripping back my system. So it's just worked out, really, this challenge. So basically, I've already taken, let me see if I can grab it actually, just excuse me a second. I took out the stuff, I'm all rough now. Okay, so I've got a lot of stuff. I'm not even going to bother reading it out to you. But I took out the stuff I knew I wasn't going to need in my life right now, and I put them, I thought, oh yeah, I can fit Filofax things in a 2-ring binder. You can't. So I had to put the pages into plastic wallets, so then I could kind of store them away, but I didn't want to throw them away, but store them away if I needed them again. So I took out my health section, purely because it had, what's it got in there? See, it can't have been that useful to me just now because I can't remember what's in it. Some inspiration stuff and a little bit of journaling that came under like mental health, and my cycle calendar, and just little things that ended up in the health section, and some yoga stuff. Now, I kept some yoga stuff in here, but I do all of my yoga online, on the, like through YouTube, on the telly, or I was not eventually going in here looking, because it was either already, you know, in autopilot. So yeah, health gone, didn't need it. I had a whole wodge of like a finance tracker things. I was like, they are taking up a lot of space, and really, once the month's finished, I don't really need them, and they're taking up a lot of space. So they're out. That's a good, probably almost a year's worth in there. It's gone. My address section has always been an issue. Ever since I started my Malden, the address section has been an issue. I had all my addresses in my pocket. I have now got all my addresses in here, and I never wrote them in, and I think because my Christmas planner, which again, completely separate planner, is the go-to thing I go to for addresses, although at the moment, since Christmas, I've been using this because they are in here, and most of the people I write to, I know their addresses, so I don't need to refer to anything to post stuff. But I think when I took these out, I thought I'm going to use these address pages in my Christmas planner, which is an A5 ring-bound paper chase planner, which I don't think I got around to doing a video to Christmas. I don't think I did. But this year I will. And I'm going to just say it's because I went from an A4 4-ring down. I was trying to condense it down, strip it back to basics in a A5 ring planner. So that is why that will come. It will come. And then I took out my food section. This is quite a big one in our house. We meal plan for necessity, budget. It has to be done like that. We've been doing it for ever since my son was born, and he's 5 this month. So now we've got it down so good that we don't need to meal plan so much. Also, I mean, we ate really well, and we ate simply, and we've got better and better and better. My husband started running a year ago. He ran the London Marathon in April. He's ran a half marathon before work yesterday or Wednesday, the 1st, because he's a crazy person, and he is massive on nutrition, not so much weight loss now, but more nutrition and the benefits of food. Excuse me. So we've got so good in our house at food, don't need the food section, that's gone. So that kind of took out a good old chunk, and I've always had a massive problem with this, which is why I had a satellite, is because I couldn't have any diary pages in this because there physically was not enough room. So I was like, if I'm going to use this and this, there needs to be a diary in here. Even though I've always had a diary section, never actually had any pages in because they didn't fit. So the other day, or last week, when I started setting this up for July, my printer had run out of ink a couple of days before, and I was like, oh, I really need to print some inserts, and I don't have any ink, this is typical. And I thought I'd chuck these away. These are, let me show you some blank ones. These are last year's pages out of the planner I used for Christmas, which doesn't have pages like this in it. So what I did was I prettied it up. Let's find a blankish one. There isn't a blankish one, so don't read too much into it. I stuck some massive sticky notes on the top with the month and the year, and then I've just, you know, the Tipex tape pens on the date, and then I rewrote the dates on. And then as soon as I did that, and I drew my lines on, because I'm trying to do AM, PM, evening, purely because my son, who was full-time school, is now only doing mornings, and that's a whole other story, which is how this came about. I realised in here I have a week to view with the this week little bit at the top, so I can just scroll everything in there, sort of stuff that I know needs to be done this week. And then it means that all the days have the same size, which I really like. That they're printed from Filofaxy blog. And so these ones, I don't know if you can see down there, these ones don't. So what I did, in my wisdom, was I put a little to do personal inside, so I could write my kind of things I know I want to do this week, and tick them off and assign them times. And so far this week, so good. If I wasn't such a procrastinator, there would be a lot more ticked off, given that it's Friday and I've ticked off one thing, and I have done half of one of the other things, but I don't want to tick it off until I complete all of that. Anyway, let's review what I'm actually talking about before I get confused. So yeah, so because I couldn't afford to pimp my pages, I wasn't sharing, and the concept of one book, one pen outside of this challenge I was already doing anyway. So I was like, oh, that's pretty, that's my life. why would that's not pretty enough to share in the planner world. So I haven't been sharing. However, now there's One Book July, I can be as boring as I like, and we can just love it. But in here, and of course, when I sort of started this, I didn't know about the One Book, One Pen, that it was a thing, because I was already doing it, and I tried to print it up because I thought, right, if I'm going to do this as my home one, I've got space, it's bigger than my personal, so I can pretty it up, pimp it up a bit. However, it's already annoying me, because in my head the colours look like they should mean something, or they don't. I've just used one colour for morning stuff, one colour for afternoon stuff, and one colour for evening stuff, and not necessarily the same colour, that theme on every week. So what's an orange for mornings on this week is blue for mornings next week. So it's already giving me a little bit of a headache. But that's fine, because I would just go, well, actually, I've now got printing. So what I'm actually going to do is print out the week to view. I'm going to just redo it probably, because it's making my brain loud, I will just print off the view that I like in this size and rewrite it all in my friction pen, because that's the other thing, is these pens are, what are they? They're like the Stabilo drawing fine pen things. And I can't rub them out, and I don't like Tipexing all over everything that gets messy, so I will still be using my friction pen, which I have refills for, should this run out. I don't know if you can see. It's got quite a lot in it to there. I love my friction pen. I would eventually like to get some more colours, because I do get a little bit bored of writing in just black. I did have a blue one, that ran out and I haven't found refills, light blue, and I did have a dark blue and then that ran out, because I was using my light blue in my work one because I used pink paper and it showed up really nice. I did have a dark blue one, that ran out and I couldn't find refills, although I think I just discovered last week that Tesco sell the little packs of refills for the blue. Anyway, I'll just be using black, that's what I'm using. So One Book July is like One Book 2015 for me. I've been really doing it. So, in terms of my personal reviewing what I'm doing, how I'm planning and reviewing my system, I think getting back into this planner will be the answer to all my prayers. So I think that's it. That's me. That's my one book. So I am going to be doing one book because apparently I've been doing it forever. So maybe that makes it less of a challenge, especially because you can keep your work planner separate, which I do anyway. I don't know. I'm a one booker. Is that a thing? One booker. So yeah, and of course you can still use sticky notes and little bits, of which I don't have much, and I think the other reason I don't pimp is because I only have such a tiny collection of things like washi, and I mean I don't journal particularly. I've tried, and I don't have money to go and buy all this stuff. I get bored of what I've got, which annoys me because I don't want more. I just want to love what I have, which is hard sometimes when you're bored of it. So yeah, what I think I might do is come back like in a week or two, maybe a week. I'll just keep an eye on YouTube and see what you guys are doing, and come back and review, and then I'll probably show you how I've redone it. But basically, for anyone that's not watched my videos on this planner, I don't know if you can see this on my lap. That's going to be really annoying if you can't see my lap, because it's spent quite a lot of time on my lap. I have my side tabs: diary, lists, home, me, money, people. So I have my diary, I have lists, which include www, so that's passwords and any online stuff. Social, which is all my social media, blog, Instagram, YouTube, all bits on there. Craft stuff, which I did try and condense that down, so crafts and projects was the same one, but they are quite different, so I have kept that in there. I might work on that because I would like to strip one more if I can. Not that it's taking up that much space, literally it's only got 3 pages in a divider. So, crafts, wish lists, again pretty self-explanatory. Shopping lists, places, probably mostly shopping lists. And checklists, so I have a daily checklist. I have to turn this around. A daily checklist, a weekly checklist, a monthly checklist, and stuff that I want to be able to schedule in, and my cycle planner, which I didn't fill in last month. And then I have my home tab, which has my Fly Lady stuff, my projects, And I think that's it, because I've stripped everything else out. Oh no, what's that? Yeah, no, flying and projects in home. So projects is more home projects, so DIY stuff, things like that. And crafts is more smaller things, like doing stuff in here, and sewing, and it's kind of where stuff starts as craft and then it ends up as a DIY, so they should probably move, which is why they're quite similar, but they're separate. So my Fly Lady list is all of my flying stuff, and projects for home, which I did strip quite a bit out of that. I had individual, I haven't got any in here to show you, let me try and show you those. We, last year, redid our decoration in this room. It's not finished, which is why I'm confined to the purple wall, which will soon be white. Now where, oh maybe I just binned them actually. Oh, that's annoying. So I had some pages that I'd designed for listing things online. So we had quite a few pieces of furniture. I had a big sofa, I had a sideboard, and what else? Some other coffee table. And I was listing them online. I was listing them in lots of places: eBay, Gumtree, some free ads, Netmums, things like that. And I was tracking sort of when I'd listed it, how much I'd listed it for, when it needed to be renewed, if it was timing out. I was pre-writing my description in of what I was going to write on the listing and things like that. That's gone, because all of the stuff that I need to get rid of in here particularly has gone. I've got so much other little stuff, little things, I wouldn't bother writing it out because it's just too much. I could probably fill this whole book of stuff I wanted to sell or get rid of. So where have we got to? Home is just flying projects, and then me, it's all about me and my more personal things. So my goals, I use the Leonie Dawson book, which actually I haven't included that. That's separate, although it's in here, so I guess that's, I don't know how to approach that. I'm going to ignore that for a minute. This is what I'm doing, my 6 monthly review, to review my goals that I'm supposed to do monthly. Okay, so I'm having to finish this video off on my phone because my camera, I think I've just filled the memory card, which means this video is so long. So I just got to the end. I just wanted to say in this, I've got my annual financial plan, so big spends like cars, events like weddings, which is going to need a bit of money, car tax. We're going for a weekend away. Ethan's birthday is normally quite expensive. Birthday tracking. I've been pretty rubbish at birthdays this year, probably because I haven't really been looking in this as much as I should. And just some tat that I've kept in there for the sake of not losing it. So basically, this is my one book for July, along with my phone, which I haven't got because I'm using it. And yeah, I'll give you a review in a week or two as to how I've been getting on, and hopefully I should have got my shit together by then. I should be back on track and feeling like I'm achieving more. I do quite a lot of other stuff as well that I don't have separate plans for. I help out on my school's PTA. I'm also a breastfeeding counsellor, and I run a Late J League group, which also takes quite a bit of planning, of which happens, well, it kind of happens in here on my calendar, but I don't have a separate planner for it, but that just comes along with my normal life. So I will review in a week or two. So yeah, one book July.